Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you the review of Season 1 of Daredevil. That's right, fans. Last week, I got to get to watch a couple episodes of this show, and I really liked it. And this week, I sat down, had like an hour or two, and I'm like, let me watch some more Daredevil. Well, let me just tell you, in the past 2 days, I watched all of Daredevil. And this first season was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I couldn't have asked for anything more from this first season. And let me just tell you that Marvel knows how to write a TV series. Whether it's on Netflix or whatever it's on, this was done right. And let me just tell you that after watching Arrow and Flash, as much as I like those shows, this show was much better for me. And, in a nutshell, it's Matt Murdock versus Kingpin fighting for the city. Who's going to win, evil or good? But it's all the stuff in between that made it so exciting. And I couldn't have asked, again, for a better show. Whether it was Daredevil, fighting 12 people, going against a ninja with freaking chain blades or whatever it was, or Foggy Nelson making a quick, witty remark and hooking up with Hot Lawyer, whether it was Karen Page teaming up with Ben Ulrich, or Kingpin freaking slamming freaking Russians' heads in a freaking car door, whatever it was just all so good. The pacing here was well done. I mean, this was obviously the origin of Daredevil explained to you in one season, but it was never a time where I found a single episode boring or dragged out. It gave you a little bit of each character throughout each episode. And the way they did the flashbacks was just phenomenal, because it wasn't just some random flashback. It was a little bit of an event that triggered the flashback, which made those flashbacks so interesting to me. And you got to learn everything about most of the characters here, at least the main character. Where was Matt Murdock, how his powers got introduced to him, or how he went blind, how his father, what was the history of his father, what was his profession, how he was a boxer or whatnot. You got to also see, the history of the Kingpin, why he is like he is, how he acts out in rage. He's like this big 50-something-year-old, guy trapped in a 12-year-old's mind. It was just outstanding, because if he doesn't get what he wants, he acts out in rage. And you get to see an episode of his childhood, which was so well done. You get to see the history of a little bit of Stick and how he came across to Matt Murdock and how he trained him. You get to see the history of Foggy Nelson, on how Foggy and Matt met up with each other and how they became partners in opening up this law firm. It was so well done on so many levels that I enjoyed every single character here. So there was great character development. So my hat's off to just knowing when to put certain things and all the pieces together here. One of my favorite episodes was the Kingpin episode. Just knowing and learning about the Kingpin and how he acts out in rage and why he is like he is today. I thought that was so well done. But then on the flip side, another one of my favorite episodes was knowing Matt Murdock's father and what he did and why, what he did in order to give his son a better life. So again, so well done. What do I think about the special effects in the show? There wasn't any, but there was great fight scenes. There's no superpowers. It shows that you don't need any superpowers to have a great TV show. The fight scenes alone were phenomenal. Like I said earlier, we talked about, him fighting in a hallway against 12 Russians. It just made it just really down and gritty and street. Just him going to town with no suit, just some clothes. And the way he survived by getting stitches after stitches after stitches. and he came out, the winner or the victor every time was just like, oh my God. But at the same time, that's the fantasy aspect of the show. That's the comic part of the show. So a little bit about the actors. Charlie Cox, I think, did a great Matt Murdock. I never knew a guy could play a blind guy so well. Just the way his eyes were and his mannerisms and everything about it was so well done. You felt for him, obviously. All the struggle that was within him to either kill or not to kill, and how he goes to the priest and he talks to the priest of what he should do. I just thought there were so many good moments there with him. Again, we talked about it. Vincent D'Onofrio, never know how to say his name. He plays in Law and Order, or he played in Law and Order. He's a very emotional actor. He really acts out in a lot of rage. And I heard when he was casted for the Kingpin, I thought, man, this is a great guy to play as him. And again, he hit it on so many levels, especially when he acted out in rage. But then you can see he tried to keep his calm and composure. And I think what the show did really well is it really showed the entire organization, Kingpin's organization, as a whole in the beginning. And as the season has progressed, you got to see bits and pieces of the organization fall and falter apart until it was only the Kingpin at the end. So well done there. Karen Page, I thought she was a very lovable character. She's a pretty face to look at. Wasn't sure of her at first. I thought she was going to be disposed of after the first episode and the pilot episode, but I loved how she was that person to keep the team together. I really enjoy that, especially when Matt and Foggy were really, not agreeing with each other. And she tried to keep it all together. So really, my hat's off to her. And she played another role with Ben Urich, being his partner there, being the people that were digging for stories until whatever it was that they found. So again, really well done. Stick, he was in like one episode, but I thought he was such a badass. He fought so well. And he was such a dick to Matt Murdock. And I couldn't help but laugh. But you can see that he didn't let his emotions get in the way where Matt faltered. And Matt needs somebody in his life because for most of his life, he didn't have anybody. So I liked him too. Claire in the show, Rosario Dawson, she was the patchwork guy. You could say she was like the Alfred. Whenever he would get beat up, well, there's Claire to go stitch him up. They played on the cuff of a love interest there, but it never really developed. Will it come? Will it go? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I enjoyed her character. Foggy Nelson, again, wasn't sure about the character here. I thought he was going to be kind of like the annoying guy, but he played out to be really good, and he wasn't annoying. He was actually funny. You can see that he cared for Matt in the show. And again, he hooked up with the hot lawyer chick in the show, and I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. Another person that really surprised me in this series was Vanessa. And she was the person that was the love interest for Wilson Fisk. And it felt like it was a genuine love there. And there wasn't many people that cared for Wilson Fisk. You could see that. People were always willing to work for him, to get his money, whatever it was. But it was the one person that she wanted to stay by his side no matter what, through thick and thin. So by the time you got to the end of the season, you really almost felt bad for Kingpin that he didn't get to go away with his true love and that he got captured by the police. Really, really just a good story there between those two. Ben Urich, again, oh man, Ben. Such a great reporter. Just you can see that he would get down and dirty for the reports. So smart, always ahead of the game. You can see that the experience was there, and again, his interactions with Karen were phenomenal. Then you get the guy by the name of Leeward in there, the smart-ass trader guy, who will probably be known as the Owl in the future. If he's dead or not, I don't know. We haven't seen yet, but he cracked me up on the things that he said, but just again, great stuff. And then the last person was Wesley, the right hand man of the Kingpin. He was like that little a guy that would snitch on everybody. He would always annoy me. And there's one part in this show, what Karen does to him was just like, fuck yeah, man, that is awesome right there. So yeah, great show all the way around. One of my favorite scenes in this show was that the Kingpin, in the end, I'm not going to give away too much, is when he escapes from the truck after he gets captured. The presence that is known as evil was shown there. Just him walking down the freeway, the amount of power that in the confidence that was in him, knowing that he has people to free him from jail was just outstanding. The music, just the pure evilness there that just was like, man, that's a villain right there. That 30 seconds was just like, wow, this is really well done. So I really enjoyed it. That was one of my favorite scenes right there in this show that really stands out for me. There's a lot of favorite scenes in here, but that one really stood out. But overall, guys, if you have not watched Daredevil yet, if you've only watched an episode and you said, I don't know about this, please take some time, watch this. I don't have a lot of time to watch TV, but this was a great show. This was so well done. In my opinion, if I give a show, out of 5 stars, this was 5 out of 5. My only thing is now is how are they going to top this? Where is it going to go? Because this was very not comic book type of material. This was almost like it was just like street gritty, just like almost like just a movie, And where are they going to go now where it doesn't get cheesy? Are they going to release Kingpin? Are they going to get again the owl in here, or what kind of superpower people are they going for? Is the hand going to be in here? There's just so many things that it's just so up in the air. But nevertheless, episode 1 all the way through episode 13, enjoyed every single one of them. Cliffhangers were great. 5 out of 5 from me, guys. Leave me in the comments below. Tell me what you thought of season 1 of Daredevil. And fans, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. And thanks for watching, fans.